Tutorials are critical in determining whether you like a game or not. It's the first time you get to play the game when you start a new adventure. You get introduced to the game's mechanics and the main purpose of the game. Therefore, the tutorial must be perfect so that the first impression for the player is positive. When I think about this, the question that comes to my mind is, what makes a tutorial perfect? The first, and if not the most important factor for me, is that the tutorial should be a part of the story, rather than making you feel like you're reading an instruction manual. The best example of this I saw was in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Coming out of the Shrine of Resurrection, you just now know the most basic controls and concepts. Then the game presents you with the more complex mechanics by putting you into situations where you need to use them. I believe that this is the best way to teach players. If you tell them just via text at the start, the player may not grasp the context because they didn't see an illustration on how it is used. Here's an example on how Breath of the Wild does it. Your first weapon is usually a tree branch because it's placed right outside the Shrine of Resurrection where you start the game. Then a bokoblin jumps you and you need to attack it. When you attack it a couple of times, the branch breaks, but the bokoblin still doesn't die, but drops his weapon. Here you learn that you can lose your weapon mid-battle, but you can find a replacement quickly. This is what a tutorial should be. You should be able to understand it without any text, and that causes you to stay immersed in the game. Another thing Breath of the Wild nails is when to give you information. This is one of the main problems with tutorials, which is overwhelming the player. Sometimes tutorials give you too much information that players lose what button does what, leaving them frustrated and putting them in a negative mood. Mario + Rabbids Kingdom Battle is a case of this. Information is rapid-fired with the character talking, which bores the player, and players forget what they can and can't do. Even though the game is a hidden gem, it might scare some players off, decreasing its player base. A good way of doing this is showing what you can do when the time is right. In Breath of the Wild, when you encounter a wall, the game tells you that you can climb it. This is the right way of giving information. When you encounter a situation and there's a mechanic that you can use to solve the situation easier, then that's when that mechanic should be introduced. This way the player sees an example on how to do the certain action and might remember it easier when a similar situation occurs. Another thing that brings me out of the story is when the tutorial becomes unrealistic. Usually the characters that we play as have mastered what they do for a long time. For example, in Witcher 3 Wild Hunts, Geralt has been a Witcher for a long time. So if the game taught us how to use his powers like he was just learning, it will be unrealistic. That is why teaching us while the characters are in action is the best way. Witcher teaches you the controls while the story takes place. Where you chase Ciri, you need to jump over the obstacles. This makes sense because Ciri, a little girl, would jump over tricky places so that you don't catch her. To teach us again the Witcher senses, we have to find the keys using it. Again, this is an everyday situation that a Witcher might use it for. To learn how to battle, we train because Witchers train every day as well. For Geralt, this is a normal case, while for us, we learn and the story doesn't get damaged. How not to do this is in Splatoon 2. We play as Agent 4, and we assume that to become an agent, he must have learned how to use his powers, but they teach the agent like it's his first time, which makes the story less immersive. This, for me, is one of the most important aspects of the tutorial. I really love resonating with a character and acting like I am the character, but when it feels like the character doesn't exist, I can't. Tutorials determine how your journey is going to be, so it must be the closest thing to perfect. In today's video, we asked the question, what makes a tutorial perfect? And I believe I answered that question to the best of my capability. Of course, the main source for these ideas were my opinions, and everyone has different opinions. I will respond to all of the comments down below so we can discuss if you have any different opinions. Before the video ends, I just want to tell you a couple of things. First of all, almost all of the clips used in this video were gathered from creators on YouTube, and I left every single link down in the description below. None of these were filmed by me because I don't have a capture card, and that would make the video very bad, so you can check the videos out in the description. Lastly, I want to say I'm a high school student, and that means sometimes our schedules can get a little too busy and I can't work on videos as much as I want to. So I'll try to upload 3 videos a month if I can. So don't expect me to upload frequently. I'll try to pump them out as much as I can. Thank you for your understanding. You can follow my social media there in the description below, as with the videos included and the music included if you're wondering which music I used in the video. And that's it. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. See ya!